I've got 2 more Assembly members, and by the way, I set the timer at 3 minutes. Okay? You'll hear the beep when you've talked long enough. Ms. Demboski, ma'am, you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I can definitely get it in 3 minutes. Governor, thank you for your willingness to serve in public office and for your testimony in front of this body. We appreciate you coming to us and talking to us. I think it's imperative for both of our constituents, as we represent the same district, as you indicated, that the record's clear and the voice of my constituents is heard loud and clear. So first, forgive me if I don't accept your pitch. Thousands of Alaskans have lost their jobs. We're financially struggling, and your assault on half of their permanent fund dividend has compounded not only the fiscal challenges of Alaskans, but of municipalities across this state. You keep claiming that there's a 44% reduction in the budget, but you and I know that's not true. That is not a reduction in spending. We're talking about a one-time injection of PERS TERS of $3 billion. You're coupling it with the amount of spending that's been shifted to other buckets, being UGF, DGF, or other. And we're also talking about the oil tax credits that have been shifted. So spending has not gone down 44%. Under your tenure, we've gone from $8.2 billion in state spending to $8.8 billion. Ironically, it's about the same amount that was vetoed from last year's permanent fund. So as we're talking about shifting money, as we're talking about cuts, let's be honest with Alaskans about what we're actually cutting. So as we're looking at these specifics, what my constituents would like to see is actual specifics of what has actually reduced spending, not spending that's been shifted elsewhere. We can close the Palmer prison, but where did that money go? Because it certainly didn't go to reduce the budget. When we talk about money and where we're spending extra money, $6 million was paid out to bonuses for DHHS employees. When we talk about education spending, $750 million under your tenure is what education spending started at, and now we're at $1.2 billion. $300 million of unfunded, or funded, but unfilled positions in the state's budget. When we're talking about numbers like that, Alaskans are really tired of hearing we cut 44% when you and I both know it's a numbers game. So, Governor, you know, I was looking at the revenues today, and I was looking at something from your own department. There's 2017 revenue source book for 2017. And here's a quote. Total state revenue for fiscal year 2017 is expected to increase to $10.2 billion, primarily due to the performance of the Alaska Permanent Fund and other investments, end quote. So revenue estimated this year, 2016, 5.9, next year, 10.2. I don't agree with you, and many of our constituents that we both represent don't agree that there has to be a broad-based tax. Some will tell you that, in fact, we have a revenue problem. That's what I'm hearing you say. I hear others say we have a spending problem. Governor Walker, I think we have a leadership problem, and I will absolutely take you up on that invitation to meet one-on-one.
Ma'am, your time is up. Thank you. Mr. Dunbar?
I'm sorry, Mr. Governor, I was going to ask you a question about the port, but I would just like to hear your response, if any, to Ms. Demboski for that. And by the way, I do think we need a broad-based tax. Thank you.
Well, I certainly think you need to spend time with the Office of Management and Budget. Pat Pitney would be the best one to walk through the numbers, because they have been presented by Commissioner Hoffbeck, Commissioner of Revenue, and Pat Pitney a number of times in the legislature, and so I think we're all on the same page there on those numbers. So if you have a disagreement, I certainly think you could take it up with them, and I won't take up the time tonight. And I'm not surprised with the tenor of your question, and certainly respect your questions, and I look forward to an opportunity for one-on-one discussion. So,
Governor, there are no other questions.